Hello, my dear students. Good afternoon. It's a good evening, right?
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening. So yeah, it's been a long time since we met, right? So a lot of you, like we had class, but like so many of you didn't attend because I think it's because of your exams, right? So how are the exams, people? Are you all good? Exams went well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Surya Mithu was asking so many questions. Surya Mithu, were you able to do good? All the doubts cleared. Everything is fine.
Yes, sir.
Right. Good. What about others? Exams are okay? Chemistry exam especially? Was it okay?
Sir, my chemistry exam is going to happen next week, Wednesday, sir.
Oh, next week, Wednesday. Okay. For others, all of you, like how many of you still have exams going on? Nandakishore is one. Other than that?
Sir, I have exams next week.
Okay. Shashank also. Nandakishore and Shashank are in the same school?
No, sir.
Okay, different school. Okay. Right, so we have enough strength. And did you get the update that we're going to continue with the quiz today? Everybody knows that you're going to continue with the quiz?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay, good. So let me share my screen. I need to know what was the points last time we had. I really don't remember. Anybody remembers the points? This is 108, but that is not the point. This is not the points, I guess, right? No, these are the first distinct points. After that, we had so many classes, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, I think you told me to make note of the points. I sent it.
Oh, yeah. You sent me the picture, right? Yes, correct. I'll check your 1 second. Where's the WhatsApp? Okay, yeah, the points I have. Group 1 has 16 points. Group 2 has 13.75. Group 3, let me write it somewhere. Let me add a page. I think it's better that I write. So 12th, 12th. Today is 1809. So now group 1. Group 2, 3, 4. Group 1 has 16. Group 2 has 13.75. This has 16. Group 4 has 14. Yes, these are the points which we have. Right, good. So we will continue with the questions. So I told you to prepare group 16 and 17 because group 16 we didn't complete yet, guys. Okay. Oh, where are the pages? Right. So okay, I don't know which questions I asked you, which question I didn't ask, but still we'll do it. Okay, the question is for group 1. Okay, group 1, your question is SF6, right, is an inert compound. Why? You have 2 minutes, you have 1 minute for you to answer the question. SF6 is an inert substance. Why? Yes, any answers?
Because it contains 6 fluoride atoms.
Okay, so since it contains fluorine atoms, what happens? I'm just looking for 2 words. If you give me the 2 words, I'm going to give you the point. Okay, can I move on to group 2? Group 1, is it fine? Or anyone want to try? Any answers? Okay, group 2, your chance. Yes, group 2, your answer. Any answers you have? Okay, can I tell the answer? Is everybody fine? Okay, so the answer is this is highly sterically hindered. That's the answer to this question. Obviously, the 6 fluorine atoms are there. 6 fluorine atoms are going to make sure that this sulfur will not be able to react with anything else because it is surrounded by so many molecules. It is highly sterically hindered. That's the point you have to give me. Okay, right? Very simple. Right. Okay, next question for group 2. Group 2, I need to know SF4's structure. Right? So you have to give me the shape of the molecule basically. And you have to draw the shape, name the shape, and send me in WhatsApp. Quick. SF4, draw the structure of the molecule and tell me what is the shape. Send me in WhatsApp. Group 2, your question. Hope you have my number, right? Group 2, I guess present first of all. Anybody is there from group 2? Can you tell me yes? Group 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yes, you can just write it, draw it on the paper, and send me in WhatsApp, quick. So group 3, you also be ready. You can also do it. If they don't answer, you get the chance. So I still didn't receive. I'll give you 1 more minute. Okay, can I go? Can I move on to group 3? Is it okay, group 2? Can I move on to group 3? Okay, fine. Group 3, your chance.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
1 minute for group 2 or group 3?
Group 3, sir.
Okay, group 3. Fine. Quick.
Yes, sir. Sir, I sent.
Yeah.
I'm not very sure, but I think that is how it should be.
Okay. The structure is correct. What is the name of the shape?
Sir, trigonal bipyramidal.
That is the geometry. What is the shape? How this looks like? So whatever you have drawn here, how does it look like? Anything which you saw in reality, does it look like that?
Sir,
Just think about it. Just look at the molecule and think about a real life substance which looks like this.
Sir, seesaw.
Yes, correct. Right. You get 1 point. Right. This is seesaw. So the thing is, people, SF4 will have a structure like this. S, F, F, F. Right. So does it not look like seesaw? Right. This is where the people sit and this is the stand. Right. So obviously there are still lone pairs. Now in shape, remember that we don't represent the lone pair. This is the shape. Okay. Now, if I ask you geometry of this molecule, then it is trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Now, how do we write geometry? A trigonal bipyramidal will have 3 equatorial bonds and 2 axial bonds. These are axial bonds, right? And these 3 are equatorial bonds. Okay. Now, according to Ben's rule, there is something called as a Ben's rule. According to that, the lone pair has to be placed in the equatorial position. Right? It has to be placed in the equatorial position. So any of the equatorial position you can place. Say I place the lone pair here. Right? All the others are F. This is the geometry. That is trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Bipyramidal. Right? It's very simple. Trigonal, 2 pyramids. One at the top, one at the bottom. 2 pyramids. Trigonal bipyramidal. This is the geometry. Now, if I just remove the lone pair and I ulta this molecule like this, I turn it, and this is how it will become. And the shape will become seesaw. This is my geometry. And this is my shape. Be very careful what they're asking in the exam. Right? Whether they're asking geometry or whether they are asking shape. Geometry means you have to include the lone pair. Shape means you should not include the lone pair. Good, good. Okay. Next question for group 3 again. Right, group 3, your question is, PH3, H2S, HCl. This is the order of acidic strength. Why? This is group 3's question. Okay, PH3, H2S, and HCl. This is the order of acidic strength. HCl is more acidic than H2S. H2S is more acidic than PH3. Why?
Sir, it's because of electronegativity of Cl, H, and P, sir. Cl is more electronegative. It's an electron withdrawing group, so it easily takes the electrons and it makes it more easier to lose the H plus ion, sir.
Okay, so you're talking about electronegativity. So that's about HCl. What about H2S and PH3? What happens there?
Sir, sulfur is more electronegative than phosphorus, sir.
Okay, and chlorine is?
Sir, chlorine is more electronegative when compared to sulfur and phosphorus.
Okay,
and
so
hence they can easily lose electrons. And so.
Yes, come again. The last point, what you said?
Sir, because chlorine is more electronegative than sulfur and phosphorus, HCl in HCl hydrogen ion easily gets removed when compared to the others.
Okay. See, this is for this answer I can give you 1.5 out of 2, not full mark. Because of high electronegativity, how is it that I'm able to easily remove H plus?
Sir?
Because you say what you said is correct. Chlorine is more electronegative than sulfur. Sulfur is more electronegative than phosphorus. Because of that, you told that from HCl, I'll be able to remove H plus easily. How? How is it that electronegativity and H plus removal are connected?
Sir, Cl is an electron withdrawing group, no, sir?
Cl is an electron withdrawing group. We speak about electron withdrawing and electron donating generally in organic chemistry. We don't use those terms here. Last chance. Anything you want to try?
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
You can discuss the teammates. You can unmute yourself and discuss here only. No, I don't mind. Okay. – 30 more seconds.
So is it because of the polar bond?
Correct. Which is the most polar here?
Sir, HCl, sir.
Good. So here you should not talk electronegativity. You should speak in terms of difference in electronegativity. right? So the difference in electronegativity between HCl is huge. Say this is 10, the difference in electronegativity. Here it will be 5 and here it will be 2. I'm just giving you random numbers. Okay, so more and more is the difference in electronegativity, more and more is the polarity of the molecule, or I can tell more and more is the ionic nature of the molecule. That means what? HCl can easily dissociate to form H plus and Cl minus because it is highly ionic, right? But H2S is less ionic, so I cannot form H plus plus HS minus. This is very difficult. This is impossible. You cannot remove H plus from this. This is basic. pH3 is basic in nature. Right? So you have to tell the answer like this. Since the electronegativity difference between H and Cl is the greatest, they will have the maximum polarity, they will have maximum ionic nature so that H plus can easily come out. This is how you tell it. Okay, good. Good one. I'll give you 2 points. Right. Next question. Next question to group 4. Group 4, your question. Okay, right. H2SO4 acting as an oxidizing agent, give me a reaction. H2SO4 acting as an oxidizing agent, give me an example. One second, guys. I'll be back. We just discuss. When I get back, I need the answer. Okay. Okay, sorry guys, I need to go. Right, yeah. I came back very soon, so you still have time, don't worry.
One minute, sir, thinking.
Yeah. So many examples are there, so many examples. Very simple example you can give me.
Sir, can you just read the questions? Sir, I have one reaction. I don't know if it's correct or not.
Yeah, go on, go on.
SO2 plus 2H2O.
Okay.
Gives H2SO4 plus 2H.
H2SO4 plus 2H. Here, see, first of all, the reaction is like this. SO3 plus H2O forms H2SO4. That's it. This is how acid rain is formed. Okay. Right. Sulfur trioxide is going to be a pollutant, and that combines with the moisture in the atmosphere, and it's going to form H2SO4. Same goes with CO2. CO2 plus H2O will form H2CO3. NO2 plus H2O forms HNO3. Right. So these are all the constituents of acid rain. Okay. Right. But how is it that in this case H2SO4 is acting as an oxidizing agent? First of all, if anything has to act as an oxidizing agent, first of all, they must be in the reactant side, right? How will it come in the product side?
Sir, last week you told about that the reduction is due to nascent hydrogen, sir.
The reduction is due to nascent hydrogen. For what question I told that? Yeah, reduction can be due to nascent hydrogen, but not every time. Not every time. You can think of very, very simple example. You don't have to go complicated. Remember that I need to have, anyways, if I tell you that, you will give the answer. Okay. One last chance. It's any examples you can come up with?
Like metal plus sulfuric acid.
Sorry. How much? What?
Metal plus sulfuric acid.
That's it, right? Yeah, give me one example.
Zn plus H2SO4.
Okay, Zn plus H2SO4 will form?
ZnSO4 plus H2.
That's it. What happens here? Zinc is in 0 oxidation state. Here, zinc goes to plus oxidation state, plus 2 oxidation state. Obviously, it is getting oxidized, and which is oxidizing zinc. H2SO4 is oxidizing zinc. Very simple reaction you can give me, right? Metal plus acid, any metal plus acid. Generally, acids, all acids are going to be generally oxidizing agents. Okay, good one. I'll give you 2 points. Okay, next question. Okay, for group 1, the question. One second, guys. Okay, so now group 1's question, SO2, give a confirmatory test. Or I can tell, give me a test for SO2. How do you know that SO2 is there? What do you do? There can be multiple methods. You can just give me one method.
Yeah, 1 minute, could you repeat the question?
So question is, how do you confirm the presence of SO2? By give a reaction, basically. I'm asking you to give a reaction where SO2 can be detected. Okay, SO2 is there. Through this reaction, I can prove that SO2 is there. How? What reaction do you take? For example,
if you pass sulfur dioxide through water, it will give you sulfurous acid.
And then what do you do? It gives sulfurous acid. How do you detect with that? Everything will be colorless, right? Water will be colorless. Your sulfurous acid, okay. First of all, sulfurous acid, what is the formula, Kanna? This is not the question, just asking you if you know.
H2SO3.
Okay, H2SO3. But the thing is, both of them will be colorless. Water will be colorless, this will be colorless. So no, that will not confirm. Even though, yeah, the reaction will happen. But how do you confirm?
Sir, sulfur dioxide has a pungent smell. It is also colorless.
Okay. So many things are pungent smell. Ammonia is having pungent smell. Chlorine has a pungent smell. Right? Even HCl gas is also having a pungent smell. Think about a color change somehow. Bring me a color change. If the change in color.
Sulfur dioxide reacts with iron.
Iron. Okay, then? One last chance. I go to group 2 then. Okay, can I move on to group 2? Okay, fine. Group 2, your chance. Any answers you have?
Okay.
Your voice is breaking, Kanna. Yes, any answers?
So I have a doubt, sir, in this question.
In this question?
Yes, sir.
Wait, let me give the answer, then you ask the doubt. Yes, any answers, group 2? Okay, can I give the answer? Group 2? Fine. So the answer is, when I have SO2 reacting with K2Cr2O7, K2Cr2O7 will be orange in color. Right? Now, the reaction will happen. I know this is an oxidizing agent. It will oxidize SO2 to SO3, right? And this will get reduced to Cr3+. Cr3+ will be green in color. Very simply, you can tell. And for group 1, you told that SO2 will react with water to form H2SO3. If you have just told me that, sir, I can do litmus test here, then I would have given you 2 marks. Because if I dip blue litmus here in water, there is no change, right? But here what happens after the reaction gets over? Now when I put your blue litmus paper, it might turn red. Okay, that would have been a better answer, but still, this is not the way to go about it, because a lot of molecules can give this. SO3 can give this, CO2 can give this, the same thing which can happen because they're going to form acids, right? But this is a good one, right? Okay, so nobody gets the point. I get the point, right? So your question, Rohan.
Sir, like if we take a reaction with SO2 evolves, like it's liberated, okay, can that be considered for this question?
SO2 evolved, yes, that's the thing. I know that in a certain reaction SO2 is getting evolved. How do you find that it is SO2 only is the question.
Okay, sir.
You get the point, right? Okay, good. Right. So now group 2, your question. Okay. I think I already asked you this question. Okay. Group 2, your question is SCl6 is not known. That means the compound doesn't exist, but SF6 exists. Why? SCl6 doesn't exist, but SF6 exists. Why? Yes, any answers?
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, is it because of small size of fluorine ions that it can form the SF6 molecule, but then fluorine ions have larger size?
Absolutely, absolutely right. So this is already a very big molecule. Both of them are very big molecules, but this big molecule is possible because fluorine is small, right? But fluorine becomes little bigger. Say if I try to put chlorine, 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 and chlorine, there will be so much repulsion happening because chlorine atom is very big. It will not be able to place itself in this octahedral structure, right? So yeah, our answer is absolutely right, right? So group 2 gets 2 points, right? Okay, next question is for group 3. Okay, group 3, your question is, fluorine forms only one oxy acid. But chlorine, bromine forms so many. Because I know, say I can have HClO3, HClO4, right? But in case of F, I just have HOF. Why is it like this? Why is the question? Right? Fluorine forms only one oxy acid, HOF, but chlorine, bromine, iodine forms many number of oxy acids. Why? Group 3, it's your question. Yes, any answers?
Sir?
Yeah.
So is it because of fluorine is a very small atom and because of its high electronegativity?
Because of high electronegativity, what happens?
So that makes it incapable of being a central atom, sir.
That makes it capable. Okay, fine. It cannot be central atom, but I could have had HOF2, something like this, right? This is not a central atom here, right? Why am I not having? Why is it not happening? Okay, I understand your point. It cannot be a central atom, but that is not, I would say, an exact answer that will fetch you marks. Not only here, even in the exams.
Sir, can you give me 1 minute?
You want 1 more minute?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Group 3, you also have 1 more minute. If you don't, if group 3 doesn't answer, group 4 will answer in 1 minute. You both have 1 minute. Okay. Any answers, group 3?
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, sir, fluorine doesn't have a d orbital like the other elements, sir. Fluorine has a d orbital, and the rest of the other elements have a d orbital, sir. But due to the absence of d orbital, and sir, fluorine, just like the other elements, needs only one electron to reach the full octet, 8 octet state, sir.
Okay.
And because of its small size, it can easily attract electrons. Okay. And because the oxidation state of fluorine is +1.
+1? Is it +1?
Sir, as far as I remember, I think it was +1, sir.
Sorry?
Sir, I think as far as I can remember, I think it was +1.
Okay, fine. So this was your last chance. I'll give you 1 mark for this. Okay. Group 4, do you have a better answer?
So it is due to electronegativity only, sir.
Okay, because of electronegativity?
It has a low oxidation state, and if you compare it along with the absence of d orbital, it can hold only one, while the other ones you told us, HClO3, they have oxidation of +3.
That's the point, right? So since fluorine doesn't have d orbitals, it can form only one oxidation state, and that is not +1, that is -1 in this case, right? Now you look at this. In all the other acid, HClO3, HClO4, in this case, this will have +7 oxidation state. This will have +5, and HClO3, HClO, you will have +3, right? So chlorine, bromine, iodine, all can form positive oxidation states, and that to multiple positive oxidation states, right? But fluorine being the most electronegative element, it can form only one oxidation state, that is -1. Right? That is the reason why you have only HOF getting formed, other things are not getting formed. Okay, right, I'll give you 1 point. Right. The question is for group 4. Now, right. So the question is in H2SO4, right? So this has 2 Kas, right? Ka1 and Ka2. That is the acid dissociation constants, right? Ka1 value is very, very, very higher than Ka2. Why?
Because H2SO4 is neutral. Okay. H2SO4 molecule is a neutral molecule, so
yes, go on.
So it's easier to remove one proton from that.
Okay, fine.
And that forms HSO4-.
Okay, fine.
And
yes, it forms H2SO4-, then?
So since it's neutral, it's easier to lose a single electron.
Since it is neutral,
it's tougher to lose one proton, sir, from it.
Can you repeat this once again fully?
Like, for example, sir, dissociativity is related to the removal of a proton, right, sir?
Okay, yes, correct.
It's more tough to remove a proton from a neutral atom. then a one which already has lost.
Oh, I am so sorry, guys. Ka2, correct only, right? No, Ka1 is greater. Correct. This is correct. Okay, yeah, go on. From a neutral molecule, it is tougher to remove a proton.
Yes, sir.
Than from a negative ion. Is that what you're saying? Think about it. Think about it properly.
You can give 1 moment, sir.
Yeah. Group 1, be ready. If they don't answer, you have to answer in 1 minute. Like, just try to understand. Ka1 being very high than Ka2 means what, first of all?
Easier to remove the proton, sir.
Easier to remove?
The proton from the molecule.
Ka1 is for the first H+, Ka2 is for the second H+. So if Ka1 value is very high, means what?
You need a stronger force to remove it, sir.
You remember how acid dissociation constant works? If higher is the Ka value, how is it related to acidic strength? Directly proportional or inversely proportional? Ka and the acidic strength in general, is it directly proportional or inversely proportional?
Directly proportional, right, sir?
Okay, fine. If that's the case, then you answer this question. If Ka1 is greater than Ka2 means what?
More acidic when you remove the first one than the second state.
Exactly. Basically, from H2SO4, I'll be able to easily remove H+. But from the next one, the removal of next H+ becomes more and more difficult. That's what you mean by this statement. Ka1 becoming Ka1 very much greater than Ka2. Why? Now you answer the question.
It's more tough to remove the second proton. So
why? Why is it tough to remove second proton? Why? Okay.
It's held more tightly.
Sorry.
It's held SO4 2-, I think. That's why.
No, your approach was correct initially, but you just went along some other path. Your approach was entirely correct. So if you just properly frame one sentence and tell me, I'll give you 2 marks. Properly frame it.
It's more tough to remove proton from an already less proton molecule. So like,
what do you mean by less proton molecule? Like
from a Ka1 state, it's even more tough to remove a proton. Like for a molecule that's already lost a proton, sir.
Okay.
It's even more tough to remove another proton.
If I remove one proton from H2SO4, what it forms?
H2SO4 minus, sir.
H2SO4 minus?
H2SO4
minus. Okay, now you tell me. Now from removal of H+ from HSO4, what happens there?
From there, it will convert to SO4 2-.
Okay,
yes, sir,
fine. So why is it difficult? H2SO4, I can easily remove H+, but from HSO4 minus, it is difficult to remove H+. Why?
SO4 will hold it strongly, sir, due to electronegativity.
That's it. Because it is a... Because no, HSO4 minus will hold on to the hydrogen very tightly. Why?
Because it's deficient, sir.
It is because it is negatively charged. As simple as that. Right? From a negatively charged thing. That's why I told you. You started very correctly. Removing a positive charge from a neutral species is easy than to remove a positive charge from a negative species because they already have so much attraction. Right? So even though your answers were there and there, but you almost gave the answer, but I'll not give you full mark. I'll give you 1.75. Okay? Right? So it's because I also helped you. But anyways, since your initial approach was correct, I am giving you this mark, but you have to be very careful. You have to be very, crisp in telling the answers. Okay.
So right? We should say it's easier to lose a proton in a neutral state than when it's in a
negative molecule. Absolutely correct. Yes. Okay, that is exactly what you should say. Fine. Cool. Moving on to group 1. I think we are done with group 16 people. Right? We are done with group 16. We are moving on to group 17 now. Okay. Moving to group 17. Group 1, it is your question. Okay. Okay, this is a nice question. Let me see if I can answer this. So I have HF, I have H2O, right? Now, when I consider the hydrogen bonding, okay, hydrogen bonding in HF is stronger than in the case of H2O. I think it's understood why. I don't want to give you the reason, but HF is having more stronger hydrogen bonding than H2O. Okay, but still, HF is a gas, whereas H2O is a liquid. Why? Okay, hope you understood the question, right? Even though hydrogen bonding in HF is stronger than that of H2O, right? But still, HF is a gas, but H2O is a liquid. Why?
Sir, is it because of the number of lone pairs?
Number of lone pairs. Okay, how many lone pairs fluorine has?
Sir, water will have 2 lone pairs. And
okay, not water, oxygen will have 2 lone pairs. Okay, fine.
Then I think fluorine has 3.
Okay, fine.
So HF will have more steric hindrance.
Steric hindrance? No. Steric hindrance will not happen because of electrons, Kanna. Steric
the bond will be weak, sir, because it has so many lone pairs.
The bond will be weak because I have lone pair. Because if I have lone pair, why the bond will be weak?
Sir, because in water, hydrogen will bond with the lone pair.
In water, hydrogen is bonded with a lone pair. No, Kana. No. Okay, I'll give you a clue. This clue can be used for group 2 or group 2 also. There is something called as hydrogen donor capabilities, and there is something called as hydrogen acceptor capabilities in hydrogen bonding. Okay, so if you speak with respect to this, you'll get the answer. Yes, any answers? Okay, 20 more seconds. Okay, group 2, your chance. Group 2, any answers you have? Can I give the answer, group 2? Okay, fine. So now, even though HC, when I say hydrogen bonding, it is not this bond, or say not the OH bond. It is between two HF molecules, right? Say HF, another HF, right? Say now this is going to have del negative, this is going to have del positive and del positive. This kind of interaction I'm talking about. Basically, or I can tell, instead of talking del negative and del positive, you can tell that the hydrogen is interacting with the, the del positive of hydrogen is interacting with the lone pair on fluorine. Okay, yes, this bond is stronger. This hydrogen bond is stronger. But what you have to understand is, here, I told you there's something about hydrogen donor. See, this particular hydrogen acts as, this hydrogen is getting donated to this fluorine, right? And hydrogen acceptor in this case is this fluorine. Same way, if I go to another HF molecule, this is my hydrogen donor, or say this entire thing is my hydrogen donor, and this fluorine is going to act as hydrogen acceptor. Right now, what you understand, I have only one hydrogen per this thing as it can act as hydrogen donors, right? But if you look at H2O molecule, I have two hydrogen donor atoms present, right? So I have only one hydrogen here, which can involve in hydrogen bonding, but I can have two hydrogens here, which can involve in hydrogen bonding. So even though the strength is higher, right? But the extent of hydrogen bonding, right? The extent of hydrogen bonding is higher for H2O than HF. This is how you must tell. What you should tell? since there are two hydrogen atoms which can be involved in hydrogen bonding in H2O, and there is only one hydrogen which can involve in hydrogen bonding in HF, the extent of hydrogen bonding is higher for H2O than HF. And that is why HF is a gas, whereas H2O is a liquid. Is clear? Everybody, group 1, group 2, clear? You understood? Why is it like this?
Yes.
Okay, fine, good. Moving on to the next question, group 2's question. Okay. Group 2, your question is HF, HCl, HBr, HI. Arrange them in the order of acidic strength, and obviously you have to give me the reason. Just arranging will not be sufficient. This is group 2's question. Group 2, how many of you are there? Only one girl is there, or any? How many of you are there in group 2 people? Group 2, how many of you are there? Yes? Only one?
Sir, I'm here, Akshay.
Okay, one Akshaya is there. Other than that, who else is there in group 2? Group 2? Nobody else? Okay, fine. But I can find out who and all are in which groups. Where is the thing? Yeah. So in group 2, Akshaya, Nikhilesh, Venisha, Suryamuthu. Suryamuthu is there, right? In group 2, are you there, Suryamuthu?
Yes, sir.
I have been asking for so long, right?
Anyways. I thought it was group 3.
Oh, very good. Very, very good. So how many answers you gave for group 3? Did you give any answers for group 3?
No, sir. I'm just listening to them.
Thank God. You can help Akshaya now. Right, you can help Akshaya, tell her, or you can help each other and come up with an answer. You can discuss here also in the meeting. I don't mind, right? As I told, as long as you want to discuss. Yes, Akshaya, Surya, any answers?
No, sir.
Okay, Akshaya, do you have any answers?
So is the order will be least in HF, sir, and highest in HI.
One second. Please tell me now. Yeah.
It will be least in HF, sir, and then HCl, and then HBr and HI.
Okay, so HI is the greatest and HF is the least. Okay, the order is correct. Fine. What is the reason? For this 1 mark, okay. If you give me the reason also, I'll give you 2 marks.
So is it because the bond dissociation enthalpy decreases from HF to HI?
Absolutely. Right. So now HI, the bond is very weak. Right. So I can easily dissociate it to form H plus. But HF bond is so strong that I cannot remove this S plus. Absolutely true, Akshaya. Very good. Nice answer. Where is the point? You're getting +2. Right. Okay. Group 3, your question. Taking. Fine. Okay. Okay. Group 3, your question is, give me a reaction where I can get chlorine, that is Cl2, from bleaching powder. Right? Give me a reaction where I'll get chlorine from bleaching powder. Yes, any questions or any answers?
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, CaOCl2 is bleaching powder, no, sir?
Okay.
So CaOCl2 plus CaCl2 plus 2H2O will give 2CaOH2 plus 2Cl2, sir.
Wait, CaOCl2 plus what?
Sir, CaCl2, calcium chloride.
Okay, forms?
Sir, then sir, won't H2O come because in the react
plus H2 is there. Okay, then.
So we'll get 2CaOH2 plus Cl2. So chlorine is liberated.
Okay. Is this correct?
Sir, you asked reaction to get chlorine from...
Yeah. You know, I'm asking myself whether it's correct. Don't worry. I'm not asking you. CaCl2, or if this can be even HC. Yes, your answer is correct. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Fine. Next question for group 4, and this will be the last question, I guess. People, what is the time? Yeah, we'll stop with this. Right. Last question for the day. Okay, so the question is NaOH, which is where is it? NaOH, which is hot and concentrated. If it reacts with Cl2, complete the reaction. Now, there is a reason why I told hot and concentrated, because if you have cold and dilute, you're going to get different products.
So can I tell the answer?
Sorry?
Can I tell the answer, sir?
Yeah. Go on.
6NaOH plus.
Okay, wait. Before you answer, okay, you get only one chance, because this is a reaction type question, right? You get only one chance, and if the answer is wrong, I'll directly go to group 1. Okay, so think about it, and you can even take 1 more minute and then answer.
So should we answer with even the balancing, sir?
No, not balancing not required. Balancing not required. Just tell me the product.
NaOH plus Cl2 gives NaCl plus NaClO3 plus H2O. Hot and concentrated.
Yeah, your answer is correct, right? This I'll give you the points. Can someone tell me what happens if it is cold and dilute? What will be the products, people?
NaOCl, sir, not NaOCl.
NaOCl plus
H2O plus NaCl.
Correct. Right. So this is the difference here. Okay. If it is hot and concentrated, I form NaClO3. If it is cold and dilute, I form NaOCl. All the other things are same. Very good. Right. So I'll give you +2. So we will just calculate the points, and then we'll wind up tomorrow. We'll continue. So guys, tomorrow we'll have group 17 and group 18. Okay. So you prepare, but I think it will be too much for you to prepare at the night. So yeah, we'll have only group 17 then. Okay. So tomorrow only group 17, or tomorrow we'll have group 15, 16, 17. Okay. Most of the question will be from group 17, but I might ask you questions from group 15 and 16 also. Group 18 alone, we'll see what we can do. Right. So tomorrow's class, we have group 15, 16, 17, obviously more number of questions. Okay. Right. So what is the mark? 14 plus 2, 16, 17, 18.5, 20.5. Group 2 has 20.75. Okay. Here, group 3, 17, 19, 20. Right. And then group 2 has 15.75, 17.
Sir,
yes.
Group 3 is 22, sir.
Oh, I forgot this too, right? Okay. So yeah, 22. Okay, this 2 is there. Okay. And group 1 still in 16. Okay, right? Fine. So we'll continue where we left tomorrow's class. So tomorrow class I mentioned 15, 16, 17, most number of questions. Okay, right. Any questions anybody has?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Fine, guys. Thank you so much. We'll meet again tomorrow. Right, I'm ending the class. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody, thank you.